This video is made possible thanks to Duval Acura at 11225 Atlantic Boulevard in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. You can visit their website at duvalacura.com. If you're interested in purchasing one of their wide range of Acuras or used vehicles, ask for Matt Sykes. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking an in-depth look at this 2020 Lincoln Nautilus Reserve. Now this car is the successor to the MKX, and both were luxury versions of the Ford Edge. They share the same platform and resemble each other greatly. However, I personally prefer the styling of the Lincoln. This car has real leather seats, has lane departure warning, rain sensing wipers, auto leveling and adaptive suspension, and it also has the Lincoln Copilot 360. This has 20-inch alloy wheels. You can pause the video, look at the window sticker for any specific details you might want. Like I said, I love the styling of this car. I love the light bar that runs across the back. There's a 2-liter turbo. Beautiful panoramic sunroof. This car is, all in all, a very, very attractive looking car. This white color. This color is called Pristine White, and the interior is Alpine. Nice chrome trim along the bottom. It's got enough chrome, but not too much. And I think that makes this car look wonderful. So now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the key. You got a nice Lincoln key here. Fits well in your hand, nice and big. Got your unlock, your lock, and remote start. Just press it again, turn it off. Oops. And this is the trunk button. Press it twice to open the trunk, and your panic button. I think the press twice is nice because, like you saw me just do, I accidentally pressed the button, and then, so since I have to press it twice to actually open it, it didn't actually open the trunk. So that's a nice little feature. This car does have keyless entry, so I just walk up to the car and it unlocks. It also has the keypad on the door for your code. So now, hopping in the interior, I love the color, this beautiful color. I've always been fond of cars with beige and white and gray interiors, and this car is no different. I love, love, love this interior, the nice wood accents. This is up there with one of my favorite interiors. So I'll pull in the door shut here. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the seat here. You can adjust the bottom there. I'll get back to that because I want to say something. Your seat back, you can adjust the headrest itself, up, down, forward, and backward. And here you have thigh support. That is something super helpful that I wish more cars had, because sometimes it's not supportive, but I can push out the seat and have a perfect amount of thigh support. I think that is a great feature. So now let's go ahead and start it up. Got the key here. Since it's just a fob, no key, you got a push button start right here in the center. Depress the brake pedal down there. Very, very nice interior. So looking at the door here, you have this nice wood trim that goes around. Nice speaker. You have your lock and unlock and your memory seating. You have a very nice forward handle. As we got to remember, Lincoln is the luxury version of Ford. so I think that's very nice. Here you have, this is definitely a parts bin part. I've seen this in every other Ford product. However, it fits very nicely with this Nautilus. Here you can control which mirror you want to adjust, and then you choose which mirror and click it again to deselect, and then you use this to adjust. Here you can fold your mirrors, very nice, and window locks. You got one touch down windows for the driver and passenger, as well as the back seat. They are also one touch up. Now these are angled down, which is a little interesting. However, you get used to it as time goes on. There are a few things, and I will restate that phrase multiple times in this video. There are a few things in this car that after sitting in multiple cars today have sort of thrown me off. But after sitting in this car for roughly 15-20 minutes now, I'm getting used to it. So this weird slant, that's one of them. I've actually grown to like it a bit, because, you know, your arm's not like up, it's nice kind of down. I think it's very nice. On the floor here, you got your nice Lincoln nameplate and a little place to store things. So now looking at the steering wheel, I love the steering wheel. There are a lot of things I love about this car. I mean, it's a Lincoln. It's a luxury SUV. What's not to like? You know what I mean? But this steering wheel, again, love the shape. It sits in my hand wonderfully, and it's just a great car. I've heard some people say they do not like how bland the center of the steering wheel is, but I personally don't mind. I think it looks nice and simple and clean. I like this indent here, a nice Lincoln logo. Yeah. So going through some of the horn buttons here, you got your horn, not the horn buttons, the steering wheel buttons. You got your horn. You've got, here you can switch between stations. You've got your volume, and you press in to mute it. Here you have your cruise controls, your lane centering, and the distance from the car in front of you, because this car does have adaptive cruise control. Not a surprise for a 2020 luxury car, but still nice to have. Here you have a back button and a scroll button, so you can scroll through on the right side over there. If you can't see it, now you can. You got your tire pressure. You've got your tripometer, your fuel economy, and like I said, your tire pressure. You have a speedometer in the center, and that those lines there will show you, like, if you're drifting off into the next lane, it'll sort of ding and let you know. Below that, you have a thing that'll show, sorry if the camera's shaky, they're not a great place to rest the camera. Okay, so underneath the speedometer, you see what gear you're in. So, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport. And you may hear in the background, that doesn't sound like a shifter, it sounds like buttons. Well, you're right, and if there had to be one thing I didn't like about this car, it would be these buttons. I much prefer a traditional shifter in the middle, or even a shifter on the side of the wheel. I feel like that gives me more knowledge, like, all right, I'm going into gear. But this does work. You click here for drive, here for reverse, and you, like I said, you get used to it. So yeah, there's that. Off to the left, you see what radio station you're on, the mileage. This car has close to 70,000 miles, which is not bad. Yeah, so moving here, you have your turn signals, and I love the sound it makes. Nice. Here you can turn off your lane keeping system. And then back to the steering wheel here. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Here you have your phone buttons, and you can go through certain things. If you want to see your radio station, you can look at that in here, switch between FM, Sirius XM, whatnot. Here you have some settings. You can go through your gauges. I'm sure in here you can change to kilometers if you drive up to Canada. Yeah. And then here you have your navigation. So you can have a shortcut, select there, go home, previous destinations, favorites, and points of interest nearby. And here you have other driver settings. Oh, take back what I said earlier. Here's where you can put your car into kilometers. Yeah, so back to the main homepage here. That's your steering wheel. These were the buttons I was using to go through that. Here's your music, navigation, and these are the two settings. Got a nice little wood trim accent at the bottom there. Love that. Now, moving over to the right side, here we have our windshield wiper controls. Tap it down once. Intermittent. And your rear wiper. Alright, moving off to the left of the steering wheel, we have our headlight controls. So here you turn on your fog lights, and here you have your gauge dimmer switches. You push it here to brighten it, and push it here to dim it. Here is your trunk. You can open the trunk here, and here you can turn off your traction control. Here is your parking brake, and here you can you have a telescoping and tilt steering wheel. So, like I said, you have your headlights right here. I'll go ahead and show you how those work right now. I love these headlights, I will say. They're nice and bright. And even in day, I can see the car, I can see the headlights light up on the car across the parking lot. And here are your fog lights. While still on the topic of lights, here is your hazard switch. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. I like the way they're detached from the main headlight. It gives it a nice distinct look. And you also have turn signals on the mirror. And I just realized I forgot to show the taillights. Nice light bar that stretches across the whole car. Looks very nice. So moving up to the ceiling, you have your sun visor here. Nice rear view mirror. I like the fact that it is thin and doesn't really have a frame. I think that gives it a very nice futuristic look. Excuse me. Here you have a sunglasses holder. And now let's talk about this panoramic sunroof for a minute. When it's closed, you get essentially just a clear roof, But when you open it, you get this beautiful glass that extends all the way. And you see how it stopped halfway? If I press the same button I just pressed again, which I'll show you in a second, it goes all the way back. So even my backseat passengers will have light. I think this is wonderful. But I know some panoramic sunroofs don't actually open. And one thing I think is great about this one is it does. It does cover the backseat window, but I mean, that doesn't matter too much. If you have a really massive opening, I think that is wonderful. And I also love the fact that it's one touch. You can also tilt the sunroof, and one touch bring this all the way back, or halfway back, and then touch it again for all the way back. So now let's go ahead and talk about how these buttons control that roof. So this button doesn't control the roof at all. This button toggles the lights, this one toggles both, and this one turns them off when the doors are open. Now this is what pushes the, so if you press this and the cloth is over it, it'll move back the cloth and then open the sunroof simultaneously. However, if you just press this, it will only move back the cloth. Here, this is what you press to tilt the sunroof, and this is what you push to bring the sunroof back into its normal closed position. This will push the roof back. This will open up this and push it back, and this will bring it back to closed. And here is the control for the other light. So you've got your Revell sound system, which I was using earlier and sounds absolutely phenomenal. It has a wonderful bass, and that's something I really value in sound systems. So now, talking about this center console, I'm gonna go over how this screen functions. So here you have your home page, right? Pretty normal for a home page. I like it. It's nice, it's clean, it's simple. I personally like the way this looks over the Ford Edge. I have not reviewed and posted a Ford Edge yet on this channel. However, I have been in a Ford Edge before, and I know it has a very similar system to this. However, the colors are very bright and white. And I know I like that on my cell phone when I have the more bright white color. However, on a car screen, I really do prefer this darker background, and I like the fact that Lincoln gives you that. Up at the top, you see your interior temperature, and you can see that change if I change the temperature. Here you have your time, the outdoor temperature, and that just shows that the music is muted. So here you have your map, so you can click that and go into the map. I'll go over more how that works later. You've got your music here. And then if you connect a phone, here it will show that. And kind of random and out of place in my opinion, but here's your steering wheel heater. So, now let's go in more depth what these things do. So here you have your audio. And like I said, this sound system is incredible. So I love this sound system. Great sound system. So like I said, this is the display for your audio. Here you can select your sources. You can go AM, FM, Sirius XM. You can put in a CD, which is nice, and your Bluetooth stereo. And there you have your direct tune and all your presets. You can scroll through all 3 pages here. That is one pro to having presets on the screen, is you can add way more than you would have if you only had buttons. So anyway, going into the climate here, you can put it on auto and it'll automatically do everything. Put it to just the most efficient way to get to this temperature. Here you can adjust your temperature, your recirculating air. Here you can go into the menu. Here's another way you can get to your steering wheel heater. You can put it on max AC to cool the car as fast as possible to the coldest possible temperature. Here you can, and then off to the right you have your, well, it went away, but that was your maximum defroster to get the car's windshield defrost as fast as possible. I think that's a great feature, that if it's on the morning and the temperature inside your car and outside is different. I know this happens a ton in Florida. The windshield gets all foggy and it's really annoying to wait for it to go away on its own. So having a defroster that will get to the best temperature as fast as possible, and the convenience of just pressing a single button to get that, I think that is a very good feature. Here is your regular defroster, and you can adjust where you want the air to go. Your rear defroster, your fan speed, and your passenger temperature. Here you can adjust whether you want it dual or single zone climate, which is nice. Your passenger wants a different temperature than you. That's just fine. And then here you can turn the whole thing off. So going on here, you have your phone. You can adjust. You can add a phone here. It'll send
your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
It'll send a signal to your phone. You go into your Bluetooth app in your settings, and it will be there. You pair it, and it'll most likely give you a code. Here is your navigation. Let's go through how this works. So this is a touchscreen. It's very, very responsive. I am so far loving this screen. It is responsive to my touch almost immediately. I can twist it. Just kidding. Never mind. Okay, so you press that button there to go back to where your car is. Here you can search for an address. Say you want to go to Duval Acura. Oop, spelled it wrong. Where's the back button? Aha, so the back button's right there. Duval Acura, right there. You can go right there. And here's the address and phone number for Duval Acura, which, again, I thank for allowing me to film this Lincoln Nautilus. Ask for Matt Sykes. He has been super helpful and super kind with helping me get this car and others which I have filmed today. He's a wonderful guy and will not let you down. So, going back through this screen here, you've got apps. Actually, sorry, we weren't quite done looking at this. Okay, so in your navigation, you've got your menu. You can go through different traffic lists, your navigation settings, even a where am I. If you don't know where you are, you're on a road trip, you want to know where you are, right there you go. There's a home button, so this will you can set a home, like your home address, and you click that, it'll take you right there. There's a search, which I pretty much just demonstrated, your history, favorites, points of interest nearby, and your work destination. Said that weird, sorry about that. Now here, this gives you the town you're in. We're in Jacksonville, Florida, and which direction you're facing. Here you can zoom in, zoom out. Yeah, so going to your apps here, you can connect a device, find mobile apps, and your SiriusXM travel link. And then you have your settings. You can scroll through your sound settings, all the other settings that you have here. 3 pages of settings. And you have a valet mode, which is nice. You also have ambient lighting, so you can change the ambient lighting you have to whatever color. I think that is very cool. I know I have family members who enjoy changing the ambient lighting in their car depending on the season. And I think that's a really cool thing to be able to do. Alright, so that is your infotainment system. So let's talk about all these buttons. I like the fact that you have physical climate controls, but we'll get to that in a second. Here is your gear shifter. Like I had said a few minutes ago, I am not a huge fan of this. It is okay, it gets the job done. Not exactly as good as a regular shifter or column shifter, but that is okay. Like I said, it gets the job done. You can have park, reverse, and you got a backup camera and a bird's eye view camera, which is great. The lines follow you, which I appreciate. I think that makes parking a lot easier. You've got neutral, drive, and a sport mode. I mean, if you want to go fast in your Nautilus, have at it. You've got a sport mode just for that. So go back into park here. And here you have your automatic start stops. If you're at a stoplight, it'll turn off. I don't think that's great. Wears down your starter motor and just kind of can get annoying. So this car will actually parallel park for you. That is so cool. If you're not good at parallel parking, this car will do it for you. You just go into a spot. Now you still should pay attention to what's going on, because, you never know what could happen, but it's still a really cool feature to have. Here, you click this button, you go into your cameras. Again, you got the aerial view and the backup camera. You press it again, and you have a full screen backup camera. Press it one more time, you see the front of the car. Maybe you're coming up to a curb or something and you don't know, ooh, how close am I? Can't see the front of your car, obviously, because you're inside of it. This will help you. Like if you can get super close to a wall. I think this is really a helpful feature. And then click it again, turn it off. Here you can turn off all your parking sensors if you want to just do it and send it for a Hail Mary. Give it a Hail Mary, and there you go. Here's your hazard switch. And moving down into this center here, this center console, okay, when I first saw it, I thought, this is interesting. I wasn't too sure how I liked this waterfall effect, and I thought it was too high up. But now, after being in this car and having looked at this car for a while, it's growing on me. I like this now. I think it looks neat, I think it's sleek, and it adds to the design of the car. But it's also functional. It has 2 storage cubbies underneath. So you've got a little storage cubby there with a 12-volt outlet and an even bigger storage tray here. So that, it's not just stylish, it's functional. So here you have a CD. You can eject it there. Airbag display. Here's your engine start-stop button. When I first got in the car, I was looking for it up here. I'm like, huh? But I found it right there. Here's your volume. Turn it off, back on, off again, on again. Just kidding. Here you can seek different stations, go through stations like that. Here you can also do the same with that. Here is your temperature. You can adjust your temperature, your fan speed, and the passenger temperature. You can turn the whole system off. Your rear defroster, your front defroster, your rear defroster. This can turn off the AC if you just want to have the fans blowing. This is the max AC. Your recirculating air, and the driver and passenger get heated and cooled seats. 3-stage. I think that is wonderful. You can put it on auto mode to have it just do it for you, set it to a good temperature, and get to that temperature as quick as possible. You can select between single and dual zone, and then again, the passenger heated and cooled seats. In here, you have a little storage compartment, a wireless charger, and a USB cable. So I want to make one comment on these buttons. They are a bit small, but it would take a bit of getting used to make sure you're pressing the right button without looking. But I think it's sleek. I think if the buttons were bigger, they would be too clunky. And so I think that Lincoln made a good choice by making them small. And as you train your muscles, you can eventually get it right. Move the key out of the way, and you've got some very good sized cup holders. And then you've got your center console. This is leather padded. I think that's very nice. You can open it all the way. You can open it partially and have this little tray in here. And then you can just manually pull that up, or you can just open up the whole thing. And you've got a very deep center console. You've got a USB there. And here you have a 12-volt outlet. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the vehicle. So going into the back here, got a very nice door panel, in my opinion. And I know I continue to compliment this Lincoln, but it keeps giving me reasons to. This car is very, very nice. It's got wonderful door handles here. I love the wood trim around. You got nice soft padded and your window control. You got cup holder down there and storage. Got a speaker there. So now sitting in the back of the Nautilus, this seat is extremely comfortable. I've got plenty of leg room. Thigh support is pretty good. Not as good as it is in the front seats. Headroom, wonderful. This is where the seat would be if I were to drive it, and I fit just fine behind myself. Here are 2 Rear air vents, I think, are nice. Some cars don't have this. This is great. But this car, something I do not see very often. Rear heated seats. 2-stage, not even just 1 stage. 2-stage heated rear seats. Wonderful feature for a cold day. And I think to keep this nice, clean look, you open this and you have a household style outlet and a 12 volt. I love the fact that this flap closes over. It keeps it nice, clean, and simple. Underneath there, you got 2 little lights. You got pouches in the back. They're a little tight, but they work. And you can pull this down in the center to reveal 2 good-sized cup holders. So now, let's talk fuel economy. So you can open the gas cap from the exterior. This car does take premium gasoline. However, it gets 21 miles per gallon in the city and 26 on the highway. So coming around to the back of the Nautilus here, Lincoln spelled out across the back. I think that looks very nice. Very nice wiper here. Real exhaust housing. Your backup camera right there. And a power tailgate. How cool is that? You have an absolutely massive trunk here. Plenty of storage space. You can fold down the rear seats with this button. Just hold it down. With these buttons, you can fold down the rear seats. You got a 12 volt outlet there. Under the floor, you got a whole spare tire. Just a spare tire there. And a little storage around the edge. Little tie down points here. Very nice. Nice trim along the edge there. You can manually pull down the trunk, or you can press the button. You got one-touch windows. Bring the seat back up here. It is a little heavy. It's a bit heavy. I don't think it's heavy, it's just a little stiff to pull up. Other than that, it's just fine. I love the way these seats look. The power locks. Pretty much the same. I just want to talk about these seats. They're extremely plush, extremely comfortable, and I love this thigh support here. Now, the reason I skipped over these buttons is because I want to talk about this one especially. That top one, I'm just going to mention. It's your auto brake hold. If you're in traffic, you can just press that and you don't have to keep your foot on the brake pedal. Pretty nice feature there. But this, you go to look for like a place to open the glove box. You're like, where is it? It's this. It doesn't pop it all the way open. Kind of wish it did. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's got a leather wrapped Lincoln owner's manual here. Very nice indeed. I like the way that this leather ends and then the air vents begins there. Yeah. All in all, this is a very, very nice car. So now, let's go ahead and talk about the engine. So, in order to access the engine bay in the Nautilus, you're going to want to go down here, pull that. Go around to the front. It holds itself open with these struts, which I think is very nice. So what you're seeing here is a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 250 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. This engine will carry this car to 60 in 6.8 seconds and a top speed of 125 miles an hour. So now, let's go ahead and give it a listen, shall we? Just want to be clear, I'm not pushing it to the red line. It's a rev limiter. Thank you for watching this video on the 2020 Lincoln Nautilus Reserve. Huge thank you again to Duval Acura for allowing me to film this car. And shout out to Matt Sykes for helping me out with it, all he did. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye.